1979. No mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. Value 5,500, the 1979 no mint mark. Lincoln Memorial Penny stands as a fascinating treasure for collectors, blending history, artistry, and rarity into a single coin that continues to capture the imagination of numismatists around the world. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this penny carries no mint mark, a detail that often sparks curiosity among beginners and seasoned collectors alike. While it may appear to be just another small copper coin from the late 20th century, its story tells us much more about America's economy, the evolution of U.S. coinage, and the reasons behind its rising value in today's market. At a market price of up to $5,500, depending on condition and grading, this coin proves that even modern-era pieces can transform into significant financial assets when rarity and demand align. When examining the 1979 penny, the first striking feature is the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner and introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, the bust has become an iconic part of American coinage. By 1979, this design had already graced the cent for 70 years, making it a familiar yet timeless symbol in the pockets of millions of Americans. On the reverse, the coin carries the image of the Lincoln Memorial, crafted by Frank Gasparo. Unlike earlier wheat cent designs, the memorial reverse offered a modern architectural tribute to Lincoln, even including a tiny representation of his seated statue between the columns. This attention to detail adds charm and depth to the coin's overall artistic appeal. The composition of the 1979 penny reflects the shifting economics of the era. It was primarily struck in a copper alloy, containing about 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. This traditional mix gave the coin its distinctive reddish-brown hue, which collectors still admire. However, this would soon change in the early 1980s, when the cost of copper skyrocketed, forcing the U.S. Mint to adopt a copper-plated zinc core starting in 1982. As a result, the 1979 issue stands as one of the final years when pennies were still made using mostly copper, adding another layer of desirability for those who value not just the design, but also the material history behind the coin. Another reason this penny gains attention is its minting origin. Coins without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, and during this period, the Philadelphia Mint did not yet include the P identifier seen on later coins. For collectors, the lack of a mint mark distinguishes the Philadelphia strike from those produced in Denver or San Francisco. In fact, in 1979, the San Francisco Mint issued proof versions of the cent, while Denver's coins carried the D mint mark. But the Philadelphia no mint mark issue holds unique value when found in pristine condition. This is because circulation usually introduced heavy wear and scratches, making high-grade survivors much rarer and therefore highly collectible. The value of this coin in today's market depends heavily on grading. Coins are assessed on the Sheldon scale, ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. A circulated 1979 no mint mark penny may hold little more than face value, but when preserved in exceptional condition, particularly in grades of MS65 and above, it can attract substantial premiums. At its peak, this coin has sold for up to $5,500, proving that condition truly makes the difference between a common cent and a rare numismatic prize. Collectors often submit these coins to professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, where authentication and encapsulation secure both the coin's identity and its market value. Rarity is another key factor driving demand for the 1979 no mint mark penny. While millions were struck in Philadelphia, very few survived the decades without entering circulation. Most coins were spent, lost, or damaged through everyday use. Thus, uncirculated examples with brilliant luster are scarce, especially those free of scratches, spots, or discoloration. This scarcity creates a competitive environment in auctions, where passionate collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars to secure a coin that represents both quality and history. The historical backdrop of 1979 also contributes to the coin's allure. The United States was facing economic challenges such as inflation, rising energy prices, and political shifts during this period. The penny itself became a reflection of these broader struggles, as the cost of producing it nearly outweighed its face value due to the high price of copper. Holding a 1979 penny today is like holding a small, tangible reminder of that era, connecting us to the past not only through artistry, but also through the economic realities of the time. For new collectors, the 1979 no mint mark penny serves as a valuable entry point into the world of numismatics. It teaches important lessons about mint marks, composition, design changes, and the role of condition in determining value. More importantly, it shows that modern coins should not be overlooked. Even a relatively recent piece can appreciate significantly when preserved with care. For advanced collectors, it adds depth to a Lincoln Memorial Cent collection, bridging the gap between the wheat cent era and the copper-zinc transition of the early 1980s. The thrill of discovering such a coin often lies in the details. Imagine sorting through a jar of old pennies, perhaps inherited from a relative or found tucked away in storage, only to uncover a 1979 Philadelphia strike that has retained its original mint luster. That single coin could transform from a mere cent into a financial reward worth thousands. Stories like these highlight the magic of coin collecting, the ability to turn everyday change into extraordinary value. In conclusion, the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny embodies more than just monetary worth. It reflects America's history, the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the artistry of coin design, and the economic struggles of the late 20th century. With a market value reaching up to $5,500, this small copper coin proves that treasures still exist in places we least expect. For collectors and enthusiasts, it stands as a symbol of patience, knowledge, and the excitement that comes with uncovering hidden gems in numismatics. Next up, 1981. No mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, value $5,400. The 1981 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny may appear to be an everyday coin to the casual observer, but within the world of numismatics, it is recognized as a highly collectible and historically significant piece that can reach market values of up to $5,400 when discovered in exceptional condition. And its story is one that intertwines artistry, economics, minting tradition, and the passion of collectors who search tirelessly for hidden treasures. To appreciate why this coin has achieved such remarkable worth, one must first understand the circumstances of its production, the design elements that anchor it within the long legacy of U.S. coinage, and the conditions that have transformed what might seem like an ordinary penny into a prize worth thousands of dollars. By 1981, the Lincoln cent had already enjoyed more than 7 decades of continuous circulation, first appearing in 1909 to mark the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. And over the years, it had become one of the most familiar and beloved coins in American life, carried daily in the pockets of millions, yet also elevated to a pedestal of respect within the collector community because of its symbolic weight and its role as a living tribute to one of the nation's greatest leaders. The obverse of the 1981 penny features Victor David Brenner's enduring portrait of Lincoln, his profile sharply defined with details in his hair, beard, and coat that capture the solemn dignity of his character, while the reverse continues, with Frank Gasparo's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that not only honors the monumental structure in Washington, D.C., but also, through its clever detail, contains a miniature image of the seated Lincoln visible between the central columns, a hidden element that deepens the artistic complexity of the design and rewards those who examine the coin carefully. The absence of a mint mark on this particular issue indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which in 1981 continued. Its tradition of leaving cents unmarked as the use of the P identifier on Philadelphia pennies would not begin until later. This small but crucial detail gives the coin its identity, distinguishing it from the Denver D strikes and the San Francisco S proofs, and it adds character to the piece by anchoring it to a specific minting tradition that was on the cusp of change. While it is true that millions of these pennies were struck and released into circulation, the reality is that very few have survived the decades in pristine, untouched condition, and it is precisely those rare, flawless examples that ignite the market and command values in the thousands. Coins that entered circulation inevitably picked up scratches, nicks, discoloration, and other signs of wear that strip away their collectability, while those that were carefully saved at the time of issue, perhaps sealed away in protective holders, or forgotten in rolls, retained their sharp detail and brilliant luster, qualities that today distinguish them as the cream of the crop in numismatic circles. Professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC have evaluated countless examples of this issue, and the few that achieve mint state grades at the highest levels, MS67 or better, are the ones that push auction results toward that impressive $5,400 mark. Another dimension of the 1981. Penny's value lies in its timing within the broader narrative of U.S. coinage. The early 1980s were years of economic turbulence, with inflation, energy crises, and fluctuating commodity prices putting pressure on both consumers and the government. The rising cost of copper, in particular, threatened the viability of the traditional cent, as the metal content of each coin approached or even exceeded its face value. The mint was acutely aware of this challenge, and while the switch to copper-plated zinc would not officially occur until 1982, the 1981 issue stands as one of the final chapters of the old 95% copper cents, a last hurrah for a composition that had defined the penny for more than a century. For collectors, this adds symbolic weight to the coin, transforming it from a mere circulating issue into a piece of economic history, a physical reminder of the tensions between tradition and practicality, artistry and cost that shaped American money during this transitional period. To hold a 1981 no-mint mark penny today is to hold a piece of that moment, a bridge between eras. And this historical significance is one of the factors that sustains its demand among those who study and collect coins. Condition, however, remains the most decisive factor in determining the market value of this coin. Coins in average circulated grades may only be worth their face value or a modest premium, but those preserved with immaculate surfaces, no contact marks, and full original, mint luster can leap in value dramatically, especially when certified by top grading authorities. The difference between an MS65 coin and an MS67 coin is not merely technical. It can be the difference between a penny worth a few $100s and one worth thousands. Auction records confirm this, with the finest specimens consistently, drawing fierce competition among bidders, each determined to secure a coin that represents both rarity and perfection. The passion behind such bidding wars is a testament to the enduring allure of the Lincoln Cent series, and the 1981 no-mint mark penny, with its market value climbing as high as $5,400, has emerged as one of the standout issues of this era. What makes this coin especially engaging for collectors is not only its monetary worth, but also the human experience of searching for it. Many hobbyists delight in hunting through rolls of pennies from banks or inherited collections, hoping to stumble upon that one brilliant survivor that has somehow endured 4 decades without blemish. The thrill of discovery is a cornerstone of numismatics, and stories abound of collectors who found life-changing coins in the most unexpected places. To uncover a 1981 no-mint mark penny in near-perfect condition is to experience that thrill firsthand, to feel the rush of possibility that something so ordinary could, under the right circumstances, be extraordinary. This is part of what keeps the hobby vibrant and alive, and why coins like this one continue to capture imaginations. In the larger context of American history, the 1981 penny also serves as a cultural artifact. It reminds us of a time when coins were still central to daily transactions, when pocket change was a constant companion in daily life, and when the value of even the smallest denominations carried weight in both economic and symbolic terms. Today, as cash transactions become less common in an increasingly digital world, coins like this gain added resonance as relics of a fading era, a tangible link to how money once felt and looked and sounded. For future generations, preserved examples of the 1981 penny may serve not only as investments, but as educational tools, showing students of history how the smallest objects can embody great narratives about society, economy, and identity. Ultimately, the 1981 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny is more than just copper alloy struck into a small disc. It is a window into the complexities of American coinage, the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the economic realities of its time. Its artistry, rooted in designs that have endured for generations, provides visual and symbolic appeal, while its scarcity in high grades provides financial value, and its timing within the transition away from copper composition provides historical importance. Together, these qualities elevate the coin far beyond its 1-cent face value, explaining why it can achieve auction prices as high as $5,400. For collectors, it is a coin that embodies the essence of numismatics, the blending of history, beauty, rarity, and the thrill of the hunt. And it stands as a reminder that even the most common-seeming items can, under the right conditions, become extraordinary treasures. Next up, 1982, no mint, Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. Value $5,200. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial Penny is one of the most fascinating coins of modern U.S. history, a piece that not only embodies the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, but also reflects one of the most important changes in American coinage, with a market value reaching an astonishing $5,200 when preserved in the highest condition. To understand why this penny is so highly sought after, one must step back into the year 1982, a turning point for the United States Mint and a defining moment in the story of the cent. Rising costs of copper had been troubling the mint for several years, and by the early 1980s, the expense of striking each penny in nearly pure copper exceeded the face value of the coin itself, creating a situation where the government was essentially losing money on every cent produced. To resolve this, 1982 became the year of a dramatic shift. The U.S. Mint transitioned from striking pennies primarily from a 95% copper composition to producing them from a cheaper copper-plated zinc alloy, with only a thin copper surface covering a core made of zinc. This sudden change produced multiple varieties of the 1982 cent: large date, small date, copper, and zinc, leading to an unprecedented year where collectors today can identify not one or two, but 7 distinct variations of the same date, each with subtle differences in weight, appearance, and value. Among these, the 1982 no mint mark penny struck in Philadelphia stands out, not just because of its historical context, but because flawless examples with gleaming luster and no signs of wear have soared in value, proving that the humble penny can be transformed into a $5,000 collectible under the right conditions. The obverse of the coin continues to display Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 and beloved by Americans for its strength, dignity, and simplicity. By 1982, this portrait had been in use for over 70 years, yet it still carried the same emotional resonance, reminding the public of Lincoln's role as the great emancipator and his leadership during one of the most tumultuous chapters of the nation's history. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design continued to provide a sense of architectural grandeur, with the marble columns and central statue of Lincoln symbolizing the ideals of democracy and unity. For many casual holders of the penny, these design details went unnoticed, but for collectors, they add artistic depth that elevates the coin far beyond its 1-cent face value. Still, what truly sets the 1982 no mint mark penny apart is not only its design, but the fact that it was minted in the very year when composition changed, making it a marker of transition and therefore a numismatic treasure. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced these no mint mark issues, played a central role in this transitional year. Unlike Denver coins, which bear the D mint mark, and San Francisco proof strikes with their S designation, the Philadelphia pennies carried no identifying mark, a tradition that would change in later years. Millions of these coins were struck, but because they circulated heavily, most today are scratched, worn, and dulled by decades of use. The few survivors that remain in near-perfect condition, untouched by circulation, are the coins that drive collector excitement, since their rarity and pristine form pushes values dramatically upward. This is why examples certified at the highest mint state grades by PCGS or NGC have achieved values as high as $5,200, far beyond what most people would ever expect from such a common denomination. The truth is that the paradox of the 1982 penny is what makes it so captivating. While countless examples exist, those that have endured with exceptional quality are incredibly rare, and rarity always drives desirability in the world of numismatics. Another layer of intrigue comes from the multiple varieties of the 1982 cent. Collectors often discuss the differences between the large date and small date versions, with the numerals in the date displaying slightly different shapes and thicknesses. The weight of the coin also tells a story. Copper-based versions weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc-based versions are lighter at 2.5 grams. These subtle differences can be detected even by casual collectors, adding an element of detective work to the hobby. For the No Mint Mark Philadelphia issue, the excitement lies in the challenge of identifying exactly which variety one holds and whether it is a rare copper or the more common zinc. Some rare transitional errors are known, such as copper planchets, being accidentally used when zinc was intended, and these command even higher premiums. Thus, the 1982 No Mint Mark penny is not just one coin, but part of a broader puzzle, a year that keeps collectors engaged with its complexity and potential for discovery. The economic backdrop of 1982 also provides important context. The United States was grappling with inflation, high interest rates, and the lingering effects of the 1970s energy crises, and the mint's decision to alter the penny's composition was a reflection of broader financial pressures. Each cent's production cost had become a matter of national concern, and the transition to cheaper zinc pennies demonstrated the practical realities of monetary policy. For collectors today, holding a 1982 penny is like holding a tangible piece of this economic history, a reminder of how even the smallest denomination can reflect large-scale shifts in government decision-making and resource management. The No Mint Mark penny from this year captures that narrative perfectly, bridging the past of traditional copper cents with the future of modern zinc issues. Grading plays a monumental role in determining the financial potential of this coin. Circulated examples may be worth little more than face value, but coins graded mint state 66, 67, or higher can fetch prices that astonish newcomers to the hobby. A flawless coin, one with blazing red luster, no nicks, and full detail on Lincoln's hair, coat, and the Lincoln Memorial reverse, can leap from a penny's worth to thousands of dollars. Auction houses have recorded significant results for these coins, proving that quality outweighs quantity every time. This lesson resonates deeply with collectors, teaching them the importance of preservation and the critical difference between a coin that was casually stored in a jar and one that was carefully set aside from circulation immediately after minting. The 1982 No Mint Mark penny also highlights the thrill of discovery that drives numismatics. Imagine a hobbyist examining a pile of old coins passed down from a relative, running fingers across the familiar copper color, and then noticing a sharp, lustrous 1982 penny with no visible signs of wear. Further inspection reveals that the coin is copper, not zinc, and that it is the elusive No Mint Mark Philadelphia issue. That realization that something ordinary might actually be extraordinary is what gives coin collecting its magic. It is the same magic that allows a single cent to be worth $200 in the right condition, turning what once was spare change into a financial prize. Collectors treasure this penny not only for its monetary value, but for its role as a teaching tool. It demonstrates the importance of composition, variety, grading, and historical context all in one piece. For beginners, it is a doorway into the larger world of Lincoln cents, one of the most collected coin series in the world. For advanced numismatists, it is a puzzle piece that completes the complex mosaic of 1982 varieties, adding richness to a collection that tells the story of America's changing economy and evolving minting practices. In conclusion, the 1982 Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny is more than just a small coin from the early 1980s. It is a historical artifact, a symbol of economic transition, and a rare collectible capable of achieving market values as high as $5,200 when preserved in outstanding condition. Its story combines artistry, history, and rarity, making it one of the most compelling modern U.S. coins for collectors and investors alike. For those who hold it, it represents both a tangible connection to America's past and the thrilling possibility that hidden treasures may still exist in the change, rattling in our pockets today. Next up, the 1983 Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny is one of those extraordinary discoveries within modern numismatics that often surprises collectors because it doesn't initially appear to hold any exceptional qualities at first glance. Yet, upon closer inspection, this coin has developed a remarkable reputation due to its rarity, historical background, and the astonishing prices it can command at auctions, with premium specimens reaching a market value of $4,700. For many enthusiasts, stumbling upon such a penny in ordinary change feels like uncovering hidden treasure. Its story highlights the unpredictable nature of minting practices and how small production variations can transform a seemingly common piece of currency into a highly sought-after collectible. To appreciate why the 1983 Mint Mark Lincoln penny holds such prestige, it's important to step back and consider the context of American coinage during the early 1980s. This was a transitional era when the United States Mint shifted from producing mostly copper-based cents to primarily zinc-based compositions due to rising metal costs. The 1982 changeover created a fascinating divide in the numismatic community, as it marked the beginning of a new generation of cents with a lighter weight and different feel compared to earlier issues. By 1983, all official pennies were supposed to be struck using copper-plated zinc rather than the traditional 95% copper alloy. However, subtle differences, striking inconsistencies, and missing mint marks from that period are precisely what elevate certain coins, like this one, above the rest. The absence of a mint mark on the 1983 penny may appear minor, but it signals something important. Coins minted in Philadelphia traditionally lacked mint marks before 1980, but beginning in 1980, Philadelphia cents included a small P beneath the date. For the 1983 issue, however, some specimens surfaced without the mint designation, which makes them highly collectible anomalies. This apparent oversight has drawn intense interest from collectors worldwide, particularly those who specialize in Lincoln Memorial cents. Numismatists value these minting quirks because they represent deviations from the standard production process, making them scarcer and inherently more desirable. Another reason this coin is captivating lies in its physical attributes. The 1983 Mint Mark penny continues the Lincoln Memorial design, first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the obverse side, Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln remains unchanged, symbolizing strength, leadership, and enduring American values. On the reverse, Frank Gasparo's detailed rendering of the Lincoln Memorial reminds viewers of the nation's commitment to honoring its 16th president. Though millions of pennies with this design were produced, the unusual absence of the mint mark combined with the zinc transition year distinguishes the 1983 issue in ways collectors cannot overlook. What makes the 1983 no mint mark penny even more intriguing is how ordinary circulation obscures its rarity. For decades, many of these coins passed through the hands of countless people who never noticed the missing mint mark or the historical importance attached to it. Only sharp-eyed collectors, armed with magnification tools and knowledge of minting variations, recognized their hidden worth. This is why discovering one in pocket change today feels like striking gold, because the vast majority of the population remains unaware of the potential value tucked away in everyday currency. Auction results provide clear evidence of the coin's desirability. When pristine, uncirculated examples of the 1983 no mint mark Lincoln penny come up for sale, competitive bidding often drives their price into the thousands. A particularly high-grade example, graded by professional services like NGC or PCGS, can easily fetch upwards of $4,700, reflecting both its rarity and demand. Even circulated pieces, though less valuable, carry significant premiums compared to face value. For those fortunate enough to possess one in exceptional condition, it represents not only a fascinating piece of American history, but also a tangible financial asset. The coin also invites deeper reflection on the processes of coin production. Modern minting is generally considered precise and efficient, yet even with advanced machinery, errors and anomalies occur. The absence of the mint mark on the 1983 penny highlights how small irregularities escape detection and enter circulation. Such occurrences are precisely what keeps numismatics engaging. Each coin has the potential to tell a story, and each anomaly offers insight into the intricacies of mint operations. For collectors, the thrill lies not just in owning something valuable, but in holding a piece of history shaped by both intention and accident. Condition plays a crucial role in determining the value of the 1983 no mint mark penny. Coins that remain uncirculated with sharp strikes, minimal surface blemishes, and strong luster command the highest premiums. Collectors often seek pieces certified by grading companies, as authentication provides reassurance against counterfeits and establishes the coin's quality. The difference in value between a coin graded Mint State 65 and one graded Mint State 68 can be staggering, with the finest examples achieving the upper echelon of the $4,700 valuation. This grading culture has only intensified interest in coins, like the 1983 no mint mark penny, as collectors strive to secure the rarest and most pristine specimens available. Beyond financial worth, the coin's cultural symbolism adds to its significance. Abraham Lincoln remains a towering figure in American history, revered for his leadership during the Civil War and his role in abolishing slavery. By continuing to appear on the cent, Lincoln's legacy endures in everyday life, even in small denominations. The 1983 penny embodies this tradition while simultaneously offering a reminder of how small production quirks can unexpectedly enhance historical appreciation. Collectors often cherish such coins not only for their monetary value, but also for the personal connection they feel toward Lincoln's enduring influence. Another compelling aspect is how the 1983 penny fits into larger sets and collections. Lincoln cent enthusiasts frequently assemble complete runs of coins spanning from 1909 to the present, including anomalies like the 1983 no mint mark penny elevates these collections, adding both rarity and depth. Such coins serve as centerpieces, sparking conversations among fellow collectors and enhancing the prestige of any assemblage. For many, acquiring this penny represents the culmination of patient searching and dedicated effort, making it a prized possession. The market dynamics surrounding this coin also reveal important lessons about supply and demand in numismatics. While countless Lincoln pennies exist, only a fraction lacked the mint mark in 1983. As more people learn about its existence and potential value, demand continues to rise while supply remains fixed. inevitably driving prices higher. This economic principle ensures that coins like this one maintain strong desirability over time. Collectors who secure examples today not only own a rare artifact, but also a potential investment likely to appreciate as awareness spreads. Furthermore, the story of the 1983 No Mint Mark penny inspires newcomers to explore numismatics more deeply. Beginners often begin by examining change in their pockets, discovering that treasures may lurk in unexpected places. Learning about anomalies such as this coin fuels curiosity and encourages people to expand their knowledge of minting history, grading, and collecting strategies. In this way, the coin serves as both a gateway into the hobby and a symbol of its enduring excitement. In conclusion, the 1983 No Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny represents far more than just 1 cent. It is a testament to how tiny details within minting processes can create extraordinary rarities, transforming ordinary objects into treasures worth thousands of dollars. With a market value reaching $4,700 in the finest conditions, it captivates collectors through a unique blend of history, scarcity, design, and symbolism. Whether discovered by accident in circulation or pursued deliberately through auctions, this coin reminds us that extraordinary value often hides in plain sight, waiting to be uncovered by those with patience, curiosity, and passion for the stories coins have to tell. Next up, the 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is one of those remarkable small-denomination coins that silently carries extraordinary significance in the world of numismatics. While at first glance, it looks like an ordinary copper-plated zinc cent, its true value lies in the combination of its minting details, historical background, and the demand it commands among collectors. The absence of a mint mark immediately draws attention, signifying that the coin originated from the Philadelphia Mint. Although millions of pieces were struck there during that year, only a select group of specimens exhibit qualities of sharpness, condition, and rarity that elevate their desirability in today's market. Many individuals often underestimate the power of cents from the 1980s, but when examined closely, they reveal hidden treasures that not only speak of American monetary history but also embody the artistic and technical dedication of the minting process. The market value of this particular cent has reached as high as $4,400, proving that even the smallest denomination can transform into a major financial asset when rarity, preservation, and collector interest align perfectly. The obverse of the 1986 Lincoln penny features the timeless bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has been in continuous use since 1909, symbolizing Lincoln's enduring legacy as a leader, unifier, and advocate of liberty. By the 1980s, this design had already become a cultural icon recognized globally. Every detail on the obverse matters when assessing a coin's worth, from the sharpness of Lincoln's hair curls to the clarity of the date. A no mint mark example, without scratches, blemishes, or loss of luster, can command premium prices in auctions. Collectors prize examples where the original reddish shine remains intact, almost as though the coin just left the mint presses. That fresh, brilliant finish gives the impression of untouched history, frozen in time, and significantly boosts desirability. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly, reflecting the monumental neoclassical architecture located in Washington, D.C. The design was first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1986, the motif had already become a familiar emblem on American coinage, but its lasting presence ensured continuity across decades. In high-grade specimens, one can even spot the tiny seated statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, an incredible detail considering the coin's small size. This level of artistry demonstrates the precision of the U.S. Mint engravers. A no-mint mark example from 1986 that shows every column, step, and letter on the reverse without signs of wear carries far greater value than circulated pieces found in pocket change. The year 1986 was part of the zinc era for pennies. Following the 1982 transition from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc composition, the cents struck after that year contained a zinc core covered with a thin copper layer. This change in composition was prompted by rising copper costs, making it too expensive for the government to continue producing cents in pure copper. For collectors, the 1986 no mint mark penny represents one of the early zinc-based issues, and coins preserved in excellent condition are far harder to find than their initial high mintage might suggest. Zinc coins are notoriously susceptible to corrosion, spots, and surface deterioration. Because of this, most coins that entered circulation show signs of decay within a short span of time. Pristine survivors, however, tell a different story and are regarded as scarce artifacts of mid-1980s U.S. currency history. One of the most compelling reasons why the 1986 Lincoln penny without a mint mark can reach values as high as $4,400 is the role of professional grading. Third-party grading companies such as NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, and PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, provide authentication and condition assessments that collectors trust. A coin graded MS-67 or higher with flawless surfaces, immaculate strike quality, and bright luster becomes a prize piece for competitive collectors. The difference in price between a circulated coin worth only a few cents and a top-graded example worth thousands is immense. This stark contrast demonstrates the extraordinary influence of condition on value. A coin that has avoided scratches, fingerprints, and oxidation over nearly 4 decades is exceedingly rare, and such pieces inspire bidding wars among dedicated enthusiasts. Market demand is another crucial element. In recent years, collectors have increasingly turned their attention toward modern-era coins, recognizing their untapped potential. While older wheat cents often dominate discussions, coins like the 1986 no mint mark penny are gaining recognition as essential additions to complete Lincoln Memorial collections. The scarcity of high-grade survivors drives competition among numismatists. Auction records reflect this surge of interest, with prices steadily climbing as more people realize the challenges of locating such coins in pristine states. Even though millions were minted, the survival of untouched gem-quality examples is surprisingly low, creating the paradox of rarity within abundance. Beyond its market appeal, the 1986 penny carries cultural and historical weight. Coins are not just tools of commerce. They are miniature monuments that tell stories about their era. By examining the 1986 no mint mark penny, one can trace the economic conditions of the 1980s, when the U.S. government grappled with rising metal costs and shifting monetary policies. It also serves as a reminder of the continuity of Lincoln's legacy across generations. Every time one encounters this coin, whether in circulation or in a collector's case, it acts as a bridge between the past and the present, preserving Lincoln's memory in the everyday lives of Americans. Collectors often share personal stories about discovering rare cents like this in unexpected places. Tales of individuals stumbling upon high-grade 1986 pennies in rolls from banks or jars at home contribute to the excitement of coin hunting. These stories add human emotion to the numismatic journey, showing how even ordinary families can accidentally hold treasures worth thousands of dollars. The thrill of searching change for overlooked gems fuels the popularity of the hobby, and the 1986 no mint mark penny has become a star of these narratives. From a numismatic perspective, error coins from this period also command interest. Although not every 1986 penny is valuable, specimens with off-center strikes, doubled dies, or planche flaws can fetch additional premiums. A no-mint mark coin exhibiting a dramatic error, combined with a high state of preservation, becomes even more extraordinary. The combination of scarcity, condition, and unique minting anomalies amplifies the desirability of these coins far beyond their face value. The global coin collecting community has also shown growing interest in modern U.S. cents. For international collectors, The Lincoln penny is one of the most recognizable American coins, and the 1986 issue represents a distinct chapter in its long history. As global markets expand, demand for coins like this increases, further raising their market potential. What was once a 1-cent piece used for everyday transactions has now become a worldwide collectible recognized for its rarity and value. Conclusion: the 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark exemplifies how a common object can ascend to extraordinary status when rarity, condition, history, and collector passion converge. Its striking design, cultural symbolism, and survival in gem condition transform it from a simple zinc cent into a valuable numismatic artifact. With an established market value of $4,400, this coin demonstrates that treasures often lie hidden, in plain sight. For collectors seeking to complete their Memorial Cent series or investors looking for a promising asset, the 1986 no mint mark penny represents both a financial opportunity and a historical legacy preserved in metal. It is proof that even the smallest denomination can carry immeasurable worth in the right context.